Hello everyone, Scrapping in My Sleep here with you. I have a March 2024 layout share products that I have done in March 2026. I'm a few years behind, but I am slowly catching up. So let's take a look at what I have used for, or what I have made in March. I have a video right before this of what I've used or what I'm using for these layouts. So you can go back and check that out if you want to know the products that I'm using. This is my overview page, pictures that didn't really fit anywhere else, one-offs that I just wanted to have in here. So I just titled this as the March 2024 page. And then this page of my daughter being so cute, playing on her computer, her phone, reading her Bible, and eating breakfast at the same time. Picture of my son, who when he wears his hat like this, I think he resembles the wrestler Tyrus, and it makes me laugh, and he's tired of hearing me say it, so I thought if I made a page about it, I wouldn't have to say it to him anymore. Picture of my daughter on a college trip that she had taken to a reservation in Wisconsin to work as a nursing student. This is how I document any cards that we might receive. This was for our anniversary in particular, but I also do that for birthdays or Christmas. And here is an anniversary page I made. We were planning on going to Michigan later in the month, so we spent our anniversary at my mom's house, which was super fun. So our anniversary picture includes my mom, which is kind of perfect. That night at my mom's, I had made a roast, and we had both talked about how much we love leftover roast with potatoes, onions. And so she made hers her way. I made mine my way. Hers looks more appetizing. Mine looks a little mushy because I use sweet potatoes, but it was delicious. I just titled this Hash Two Ways. I used up the extra, the last bits of my Mente Winter collection that I had pulled out last month. There's a page just about a tradition we have that's getting ice cream every night. I'm noticing that I didn't add my title. I was going to make a title that was Sunday Traditions. I might go back and do that. Maybe I won't. It doesn't bother me that much. And then a picture of my son with his, he had passed his skills test for his CNA training. Here's a picture of my cute girls dressing up. You can't see this photo, but they're holding photos from when they were in preschool, and they tried to match that outfit now. And then they actually wore those outfits to get coffee, which I thought was hilarious. Here is a picture. We had a Life Action conference at our church, and so we hosted 3 of the guys there. So this is just a picture of us getting to know them. Super fun guys. And then here's another thing I do with memorabilia. If it's a full sheet, I will just stick it in a page protector and put it right in my album. I'm okay with having different size things in there. Another picture of my daughter with some foster kids she was watching. And then a picture of my husband's 59th birthday at work. And then at home, he loves donuts, so I made a donut cake for him, which was super fun. And then here are his birthday cards. I like to keep them all. I like to see people's writing through the years. So, all right, here is a kind of a different layout. I wanted to use up these flowers that were in this collection. I didn't use them all, but there were so many in here. And so I thought this was kind of, since the picture was kind of on a diagonal, I just tore the paper on a diagonal and kind of placed my picture on the diagonal as well, so that would have the focus. This was about a layout of me going to the eye doctor. I had been playing some games with 2 of my kids, and all of a sudden I could only see half of their bodies, and that really freaked me out. So I called the eye doctor right away, and they got me in the next day. It was just an ocular migraine, which I'd never had before, but it scared me. And so when I found out everything was okay with my sight, I was very relieved. So just a layout about that. Oh, this is the back side of that layout. Just a picture of my daughter and I being goofy. And we definitely are goofy. And then Guys, I got out my circle cutter. I actually used my circle cutter, and I love how this turned out. I don't know why I don't get it out more often. Just cut 3 pieces of paper with that circle cutter and then kind of pieced them together. This is just about the sun finally shining. When you live in Midwest Indiana or Northern Indiana, it's good to see those spring flowers and the sunshine come out. So I'm trying to document all of that in these next few pages. I love this page. It's just so soft and dainty. It's just titled Everyday Moment. This is just me taking my mom to see her aunt and my cousin. And then after that, we went to a country store, and they had 50 pounds of bacon for $49.50. And I was like, yes, please, I will buy that all up. I will stick it in freezer bags, and I will have bacon for a really long time. So there's no such thing as too much bacon. And I got to use my fun little bacon stickers from Doodlebug, which was fun. All right, my daughter likes to steal my phone and do selfies, silly selfies. There are a couple of layouts like this month, actually. Back of that is we had paid off, we built a house in South Haven, and we paid it off on this day, so we went out to celebrate. Here is just the paperwork that goes along with that. I don't care if my kids see that, but I don't really need the internet to see that. This is a page that I put together with some leftover flowers that I'd used in last month's layout. And this is just talking about how my mom thought she was ready to go through my dad's clothes and kind of distribute those, but we ended up packing them back up and putting them in the boxes. She's not quite ready yet, and that's okay. And then that same day, my mom, she likes to supply my daughter with laundry money for college. So she went through her little jar and got out all the quarters for my daughter. So I loved getting to use this little doodle shaker, or shaker doodle, whatever they're called, of the laundry machine. It's perfect for that layout. I did get out some different pictures for this layout just because it was for the NCAA tournament, and I wanted it to be basketball. It's a great time to use that basketball paper, so I just got into that for this layout. And then this is about one of my sweet little guys that I used to be a cuddle buddy for at church, passed away, and so that's just a layout about that. This layout is using mostly Simple Stories Easter page. I do have I believe this is Echo Park or Carta Bella embellishment there. We were in South Haven, and my husband went out for a run, and he got attacked by these turkeys, and he came back and told me the story, and it was just too funny. So thankfully, before he'd ran away, he'd gotten pictures of this turkey. This is the one that almost caught him. So he was very glad it didn't, because he said his talons were huge. So this page is kind of a fun one. Kind of sad now that I'm 2 years removed and I'm not doing anything with them. But at this trip in South Haven, I had taken a lot of scrapbooking things to work on, and I was going to make sets of embellishment clusters, a large, a medium, and a small, and then package them up and sell them to anyone who was interested. And I was going to call them Embellies, since my name is Ellen. And I made the entire kitchen island full. I think there were like 80-some sets of them. And they're all just sitting in my room across the hall because I never did anything with them. So I should get those out and start using them in my actual layout, shouldn't I? When I came home, my mom loves to see anything that I've worked on, so I took my Embellies over to my mom. She looked at every single one and commented on them, and I titled this, She's My Hype Girl, because she is an incredible cheerleader and fan. The back of that one is a game that we played. We like to play games when we're at my mom's house, and so my dad and son were there this night. We played probably euchre, I don't remember what, but they won. But this is what was going on the other side of the table. She was a little distracted by all of my niece's stuffed animals. So I just thought that was kind of a fun page. Sure, they won, but we had a few distractions. And I'm just realizing I spelled this wrong. So I will go back and add a T into distractions. This is a picture of a grief group that my mother-in-law was in. Actually, so proud of myself. I used a stencil and some paste on this, and it's actually really cool. I'm going to have to do it again. I loved it. And then I didn't love how this paper, it had these watercolor marks already on the paper, and then the rest was just all white. And it was too plain for me. So I found a package of flowers, and I just made a frame out of them. So I really like how this turned out, actually. I need to do more stenciling. This was also kind of fun for me. I took the leftover papers from when I cut that circle. I added another piece of paper in the middle because I didn't have quite enough to make a full circle. And then I got out a Minte Crafty collection. I had created a logo for my YouTube channel, for my website. So I thought this was a fun page for that. I had big dreams back then. Haven't done anything with them, but I had big dreams. All right, this is fun just because I've never had a shamrock before. My mother-in-law got me this one, and I loved how at night it would close up and in the morning it would open, and I just thought that was super fun. So I got to use a lot of these things that I normally wouldn't use from a collection, and this bright green and yellow paper just felt shamrocky to me, so I used that up. This is another picture that I got out a different collection for than what I had pulled in the video. Another basketball layout. My son-in-law and daughter got to go to a March Madness game, so that was super fun. Purdue was playing, that's her alma mater. So, and then we have some Easter photos. These pages are very busy. I do not love these pages, but they're done, and I'm okay with that. Here's another picture of my daughter being silly. So mixing in that LDRS collection with a lot of Simple Stories and Echo Park. And I think they're okay. My kids are getting older, in their 20s, but they still want to do an Easter egg basket hunt. And so I hide it every year and they go seek. So here they are finding their baskets. Those are my March 2024 layouts. I have already pulled my April pictures, and I have a big stack of them. And I've also pulled out what I'll be using for those pictures and supplies. I'm going to a crop this weekend with my scrappy friend Kelly, so that is super exciting, and I'm hoping to work on these pages while I'm there. So hopefully it won't be too long until you see my April 2024 layouts. Thanks for joining me.